Hey folks, it's Johnny. Um, it's quite amazing. I just got off the phone with a radio talk show host asking me questions about Bridgewater and the FBI. Well, Comey was an executive at Bridgewater, owned by Dalio, who is a Lamont supporter. And if you read information that's out there, here's an article. Just read it, okay? Watch. Go down. It's called "The Weird Hedge Fund That Prepared James Comey for His Capitol Hill Hot Seat." Well, Comey ran the FBI in Connecticut, folks. I keep telling everyone. The outrage that started when he blew the whistle on the Bush administration is one thing. But read some of these paragraphs, okay? It was just weeks after he joined Bridgewater, whose corporate culture of high-achieving intellectuals resembles a moneyed management cult that shares more in common with the 1970s personal improvement fad than a typical Wall Street firm. The Justice Department official had a stance. My initial reaction was, what? You, a kid, are asking me that question? I was Deputy Attorney General of the United States. I was General Counsel of a huge, huge company. And a 25-year-old is going to ask me about my logic. Then I realized I'm at Bridgewater. Comey said, even though he was excited to embrace the new way of thinking, okay, read the article yourself. Inside Bridgewater, the culture of questioning is known as probing, a chance to understand the deeper whys inherent in the individual's thinking or corporate process. It's a chance for everyone from junior associates right up to Dalio himself. Now, Dalio says that Connecticut is playing with money as if it's monopoly money, okay? Bridgewater, every day, is a kind of after-action review, although the process goes much deeper than a typical post-mortem. What's the significance of Comey working for Bridgewater? Well, I called Comey at the FBI when he ran it. He took a job with Dalio. They never investigated the blind eye. Look here. All these girls testified. This is a world champion gymnast. These are world champion gymnasts representing the United States. They cried and cried for years, and the people in charge of the USA gymnast arrangement knew they had a pedophile running it. Comey knew. Everybody knew. And it turns out, in 2020, in September, I called Comey's office, and reported the hedge fund disaster caused by Bernie Madoff. What happened? He was chairman of NASDAQ, who's affiliated with all the Grace Farms money management people. Dalio's a partner in Grace Farms. They do Himes functions. Himes has oversight of the FBI. Himes has oversight of the FISA court. Blumenthal rewrote the FISA rules in 2013. The FISA court used FBI agents that were lying and creating false information to mislead the FISA court to obtain warrants to frame a sitting president from the first day he was elected. So when you look at what Comey's involvement in Bridgewater is, it's a bribery machine meant to control Senate seats, congressional seats, which is happening through Connecticut and filtering down through the entire United States. So when you look at Blumenthal, who brought Comey down to Washington for the Hillary Clinton email investigation, look how it affects the gymnasts who had a pedophile running the organization. How many times did they complain before nothing was done? Well, it was at least in a year and a half. I'm saying the complaints I filed in 2020 have never been heard. And Comey received them. I call the FBI all the time. Now they're covering up Stephen Barrier and the bribe made by Lamont, who works with Dalio, who runs the Grace Church, who funds Jim Himes, who's working with Bank America, and the judges. Judges Adams, Judges Provader, Judges Heller, Judge Jacob. Look at Judge Heller. Judge Heller's special master, John Carberry, is Bernie Madoff's attorney. Hold on a second. Hundreds of NASD arbitrations have been filed, and the big ones were all dismissed, saying that John Flynn was not a member. However, I was a member. I had every license you can name. I had the 55, the 24, the 7, the 63. I had options principal. I had annuities. I had variable products. Every kind of securities license you can name. And Jim Himes has been covering it up. Now Mayor Martin is covering up. Mayor Martin just lost his primary yesterday. So what to say about who's going to win mayor of Stamford and the influence it has on the police and the court? Oh, there's an influence, folks. Keep in mind, Provader, the judge, was counsel to the city of Stamford for 20 years under Malloy, who is mayor of Stamford. Malloy was sued as a money launderer. Look at the Stephen Barrier case. Stephen Barrier sued Colangelo for taking a bribe on his son's murder. Mukasey investigated. Mukasey investigated Cummings. Cummings' partner was Mukasey. Think about this. Mukasey got rewarded with a state position as investigator for the chief state's attorney when he botched the Cummings investigation as a pedophile. Who's a pedophile in Connecticut? Think about it. Who runs the Board of Ed in Norwalk? Why would Norwalk not learn its lesson about Thomas Cummings and put Colin Hostin in charge of the Board of Ed? Who's gay? Who is influencing your kids? And when your daughters go in the shower after track, you need to wonder who's in there with their junk. And you should be causing a riot over that. Yes, you should. Influencing who goes in the ladies' shower. A gay guy in Norwalk, not unlike Thomas Cummings, who had sex with 7 boys when he ran the Norwalk Youth Division. People complained. What happened? Hidden. What's being hidden now is far worse. What's being hidden now is far worse. Please follow the campaign. Understand that what happened to the USA Gymnastics team, okay, is happening in Waterbury, Connecticut, is happening through Dalio, through his connections to Lamont, his connections to the Grace Church, to Jim Himes, who has congressional oversight, who Himes gets, his biggest donor is Bank America. Bank America has a law firm working for it, Kelly Dryan Hodges. Adams is a partner, Judge Adams. The state has a bar association that has not investigated 32 complaints about Kelly Dryan Warren, claiming to be my attorney. I don't know them. You have to look and see what's happening with the new office of the chief court administrator. You need to look at what's happening with the Judicial Review Council. You need to look what's happening in 11 days by McDonald and who's he's putting in charge of the police issues. We can't have these law firms, lobbyists for vaccines, running who the police will allow to falsify investigations. Where's the murder evidence for Stephen Barrier, tasered to death? It says there were no tasers used in the misconduct report. It was leaked to the Stanford Advocate by the chief state's attorney from Gill, from Hayes, from the autopsy state medical examiners to the Stanford Advocate, folks. What I'm saying here is there is a trail of crumbs you need to follow, and you need to vote these people out. So Mayor Martin just lost his primary. He's a cheerleader for the Rainbow Coalition. It's not about diversity is right or wrong. Diversity is fine, okay? But putting the wrong people in charge of the kids in your school, thankfully both my sons have graduated Norwalk schools. The emphasis now has to be on getting the influence beyond the unicorn and Norwal transgender community. Harry Rilling allows them to read books to children at the library in Norwalk, okay? I have a picture of a transgender 6'2" guy in a dress with children sleeping across his groin, okay? What's wrong with this? Oh, the Democrats love it. Why? Is it perversion? Why is McDonald, who's gay, nominating the people who are going to oversee the police misconduct cases? Why isn't he putting someone on that board like myself? Because I asked. My name was not even mentioned. And the hearing is in 11 days. Will you go with me? Will you call them out? Oh, it's risky, folks, because these people are planting evidence on people. Yes, they are. Look at Detective Maloney, planting evidence. Look at Brian McCann, attorney to the city of Norwalk, destroying evidence. Look at the arrest of T.J. Elgin. Look at the smearing of Ethan Book. Look at the smearing of about 5 more people running for office. Completely false accusations. Was Thomas Gilmer innocent? He's maintaining his innocence. Is that him in the video? T.J. Elgin was framed by an anonymous phone call, running for Congress against Jim Himes. Tuesday is a meeting, I'm told, on the Marty Heiser show with Brian Merlin, who's got video of Himes rigging his delegates. Tong's delegates were rigged as well. How can we have elected officials rigging their delegates, taking bribes from OxyContin, allowing them to siphon $10 billion off of Purdue Pharma in Stanford, and having campaign contributions go to Richard Blumenthal and go to Jim Himes. Hold on a second. Listen to what I say. 220 people die daily from Oxycontin, and it was not referred for criminal prosecution, and it is overprescribed. It is way more addictive than they maintained. It is sold. It violates federal law. I can take you to the federal law if you want to see it. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on, I'm going to take you there. But you need to research it. Here we go. Let's go. Let's see. Epic Times. No. No. Christopher. Here's the kickback law. 100% share. Let's see. Roadmap for new physicians. False Claims Act. It is illegal to submit claims for payment to Medicare or Medicaid that you know should not be, that they are false or fraudulent. Okay. As a physician, you are an attractive target for kickbacks and schemes. It is legal to provide a fee or discontinued services or uninsured people. Taking money for or gifts from a drug device company or a durable medical equipment company supplier is not justified by the argument that you would have prescribed that drug or ordered whatever wheelchair event without a kickback. You should look at who's being compensated in Connecticut for opioid kickbacks. Now, there is going to be an event on Tuesday that I will share. And you should look at the statutes in Connecticut for Medicare, Medicaid, federal health care programs, and compensation to victims, and compensation, compliance, and the OIG, who we are. Office of Inspector General. This is the problem. They knew about the USA Gymnastics team pedophilia problem. What'd they do? Nothing. Okay? More victims. They knew about the money laundering scheme of Bernie Madoff and the 253 brokerage firms damaged by him not allowing arbitration. The problem remains with the Stamford Superior Court. When NASDAQ doesn't hear an arbitration, it becomes a property right of a Connecticut resident. If I'm saying there are 3 million shares of a biotechnology firm missing, that's on Richard Colangelo, because he was sued in an NFS and a computer shares case. Whose computer shares? It is the underwriter of the IPO of NASDAQ. Who's holding the shares? The Norwalk Police Department. They're in Bank of America's vault. I say to you, I bought those shares at 13. It's at $230 a share. Who stole the shares? Hume, Maloney, O'Connor, Cummings, Vitarbo, Lowe, Schramm, DeSpagna, DeRosa, DePinto, and Pinto. Pinto's in Stamford. DePinto's in East Haven. These are related cases of money laundering, and I'm at 19 minutes and 25 seconds. People, win with Flynn. Follow these arguments, okay? Vote for Dominic Rapini, of course. Make him a campaign contribution so we can keep voter fraud out of the Columbus Magnet School. What happened on Election Day at Columbus Magnet School in Norwalk should never happen again. Black Lives Matter showed up and assaulted a blind woman. Okay? Police Officer Williams is covering that up. Who else? Everyone involved in the Rilling investigation that's ongoing right now. Everyone involved in the Rilling investigation that's going. And by the way, I'm going to share this video with the FBI. I have no problem with the FBI, except that they don't act. I've been calling them for 21 years without a callback. Are they going to show up on my door one day? Yeah, there's a murder case that they're going to show up on my door for. And we're ready for that. Okay? So if you read that John Flynn was disappeared, not over my dead body, folks. Over my dead body. I'll let it go at that. Listen to the testimony on this computer of the U.S. Gymnastics team. Let me see if I can show it to you. Ready? Play.
And they wanted to cover it up. I don't want another young gymnast, Olympic athlete, or any individual to experience the horror that I and hundreds of girls have endured.
Hundreds of girls.
During and continuing to this day in the wake.
Sexual abuse accusations.
To be clear. Sorry.
Take your time.
Give her some credit, folks.
To be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system.
An entire system.
Perpetrated his abuse.
Perpetrating abuse.
Gymnastics over 6 years ago, and still, my family and I received few answers and have even more questions.
Zero answers.
How this was allowed to occur, and why dozens of other little girls and women at Michigan State had to be abused after I reported.
Michigan State.
My childhood for the chance to compete for the United States, I am haunted by the fact that even after I reported my abuse, so many women and girls had to suffer at the hands of Larry Nassar.
These individuals clearly violated policies and were negligent in executing their duties, and in doing so, more girls were abused by Larry Nassar for over a year.
Clearly did not execute the duty. They took an oath, and in Connecticut, a sanctuary state, they don't follow federal law, folks. And now Comey has infected the entire state, working for Bridgewater and Dalio, who's friends with Lamont. Our governor has connections that led to the destruction of the FBI itself. And without Jim Himes having oversight, it would have never happened. So, Tuesday is Brian Merlin talking about Himes with Marty Heiser. You should listen in on it. I'd love to ask the questions. Maybe I will. Let's leave it at that, folks. But if you don't figure out how the pedophilia is connected to the human trafficking, to the money managers and hedge funds of the governor of Connecticut, he wants people to lawyer up. Governor Lamont told Brian Merlin to lawyer up. He's an advocate for opioids. He wants to know why Himes never referred it for criminal prosecution, just like these jokers at the FBI. Follow the campaign, because what's going to come out is far worse than I have already described. And have a great day.